It's 2023 and it's time for Playboi Carti to go on another tour. But this tour ain't a regular one. It's Carti. He always got to be different, but this different ain't good. Playboi Carti going on tour for an album that came out in 2020. And like I said, going on a tour for it in 2023. And the ticket prices up to $500 and then $300 for standard admission on the floor. And the world don't like this. But how did Carti even get to this point? Playboi Carti, a rapper we all know, is one of, if not the biggest liar in the rap game. So back when he dropped this tape, Whole Lotta Red, he started lying again. Days after dropping the tape, he went straight to Twitter with some cap. Basically came to Twitter saying the deluxe was coming soon and asked what songs the fans wanted on the tape. You can guess what happened. No deluxe ever came, and so for a while the album just marinated. He did some virtual performances here and there, and eventually it was time for him to lie again. September 2021 came around, and he was back active on social media, and the world was hyped. Carti dropped a post on IG that said Narcissist with the date September 13th, 2021. And when anything Carti do, his side of the internet going crazy. Even though he ain't specifically say what, he knew people was gonna take it like it was an album. So eventually, the 13th come, nothing. Or at least that's what people thought until they looked a little deeper and checked out his website. Merch, all kinds of merch, $5,000 merch, and fans ate it up. They start slamming their wallets going, I'm not trolling about some $5,000 merch. He really put a helmet up for 5 racks. But other than his coat fans, the public ain't really like it. They felt like it was regular clothes. He was charging the bag for it, but it came with one problem. All the people that spent their money on all this merch and all of this, turns out it was fake. The website got hacked. Carti took to Twitter and said the website is hacked. The reference photo was posted live. Never approved any clothing, none of that. And this had the fans mad. They felt like they got scammed. They dropped all this money on something that wasn't even supposed to come out. But it get worse. Twitter did what they doing, got to digging, and found out this wasn't even his merch to begin with. They realized it was real similar to some clothes being sold on this Chinese retail market. But even though no album and some fake merch came from this little post, something did come. He kind of half lied. He announced the Narcissist tour, and for a minute, he let it rock. People was rushing to buy their tickets, me included, because we was thinking he was dropping a new album. Like, how you gonna go on tour for an album that ain't dropped yet? But at the height of all the hype, bro came out and changed tour name to the King Vent Tour, basically renaming it to the tour for his album Whole Lotta Red that he dropped in 2020. And so a turning point came in his career. He started arguably the greatest tour of his career. He stepped out and started going crazy. His performances was different from anything we had seen from him before. And so every time he got on stage, it was going viral. He came on there with face paint, he came on there with all that makeup. Like, he was going viral every time he went on stage, including the one I went to. This one is specific. Had to be his craziest, really most dangerous show he probably done did in a minute. So let me take you back to the night of October 15, 2021. Charlotte, North Carolina, Bojangles Central. We pull up, line long. I'm talking about the line crazy. I'm just show you the vid.
Bro, this Carti got it packed, bro. Oh my God.
And if you someone just listening, know that line was reaching from one half of the stadium to the other. So Carti fans just started acting crazy. And I'm talking about it was wild. People started getting tired of waiting. And they started ripping parts out of the door and passing it around the crowd. The second they got that door open, people started rushing through. Me and my bros literally had to hold onto each other so we wouldn't get separated in that crowd. But the crowd started pushing through the door. And the second we got through that door, we realized how bad it was. Them niggas picked the metal detectors up out the ground and had them laying on the floor. Then the people who was at the door that was supposed to check your tickets got scared and ran away. And so at this point, anybody was able to get into the show with anything. A nigga could have walked in there with a gun or anything. That's why I said it was so dangerous. But eventually, we running through the halls, we get to the floor and everybody was on the floor. The whole line that just rushed in went straight to the floor. And it wasn't nothing nobody could do, because how they finna control a crowd like that? But eventually they got to performing. Ken Carti came on, Rico Nasty, but right after Rico, everything took a break. Security stepped onto the floor and got on the mic and told everybody, if you ain't have a wristband, you got to get off the floor. And they meant that. They was walking around, grabbing people's wrists, checking their wrists, had flashlights out, all that. So some people who did pay for a floor ticket and not get a band because the ticket checkers wasn't there, was out of luck. But it get crazier. Niggas was out there being dirty. I watched somebody pick up a roach off the floor and start smoking it like it wasn't nothing. But Carti put his life in danger that night for this show. Yeah, it might have been a good night for me at the time, but in reality, it wasn't okay. And this was before the Astroworld show or anything, and Carti realized it was dangerous. And every show after that, he upped the security heavy. But I'm telling you all of this because it leads up to what happened next. The tour finished, 2022 came around. He don't drop no music, but just doing interviews, trying to hype up some future music until his baby mama came into the picture. So for a quick little history lesson, he got Iggy Azalea pregnant. And she had his kid back in 2020 and basically came out and told the world he was a bad father. She was like, He didn't even come to his son's birth. He was out in Philly with Uzi.
While I was pregnant, this man didn't even come to see his son be born. He went to Philly to play the PlayStation with little Uzi. He thought that was more important than seeing his son be born. And I had a scheduled C-section, by the way, because my son was so big that they were like, you can't have a natural birth. I'm not still with him, in case you're wondering. No, I'm not still with him.
But she came out talking because in this interview, Carti said some words about Iggy. I'm a father, you know what I'm saying? You know how it is having kids. I just got responsibilities. I pay bills. I take care of a lot of people. I take care of my mom, my family, my baby mama. I take care of my son. There's a lot of people I take care of. So it's like, I gotta keep doing it just to make sure that I love my baby mama. It need to be known that Iggy the best mama in the world and my son is perfect. But Iggy ain't like Carti speaking on it. She got on Twitter. She said, take care of me. Let's not get carried away now. Y'all been misled. I don't mess with a man I'm not even remotely on good terms with. Claiming he pay my bills. I pay my bills. Secondly, saying nice things for an interview sound great, but in real life, he talked to me crazy. He was talking to me so bad I had to stop all contact. His team been calling about the interview, hoping for my silence because they know what my reaction would be. I do appreciate being called a great mom, but that's not reflective of what he gotta say in real life. I'd rather be left out and not even being mentioned at all. Soon after this, he had another performance where people was on bad timing, breaking the barricades. But before anything could happen, the show got shut down. But after not lying to his fans for a minute, he got to performing and did something that made some people look at him sideways. In the middle of performing, he grabbed this guitarist and started slinging bro around stage. Now, whether this was staged or not, we don't know. But what we do know is a lot of people ain't like this. But 2022 kept going on. He was just making his money. And at the end of the year, came back to social media, posted a cover or something. He hopped on IG and dropped the cover. We ain't know if it was a single or an actual album. We just knew it was a cover because it had the parental advisory in the corner. But nothing ever came of it. And Carti fans got so mad, they did what they always do. Leaked about 7-8 songs at once. And for some months, we ain't hear from Carti until his mugshot randomly dropped online. February 2023, his mugshot dropped and the info came along with. Carti got charged with assault after allegedly choking his pregnant girlfriend and trying to prevent her from calling 12. XXL wrote this. The victim told the police she arrived to the rapper's property on December 20th, 2022 at 4 p.m. to speak with him about the baby she was 4 months pregnant with at the time. She stated she was dating Carti for over 2 years. She lived at his property for less than a year and was recently kicked out of the home. The victim stated while having a verbal argument with the suspect, he attacked her. She stated the suspect grabbed her by the throat and pushed her into the bush. She stated there was 2 males who worked for the suspect that stood there and watched. The witness, who was listed as Playboi Carti's employee, jumped into the fight to break him up because the suspect was holding her by the neck. The victim stated she couldn't breathe. Once the victim was free, she stated she got into the car and was attacked by the suspect. The suspect attempted to pull her out the car while covering her mouth. The victim said she felt the witness's hands on the vehicle but did not know what she was doing. Once the vehicle was able to exit Carti property, she pressed the Mercedes-Benz SOS dispatch button in her vehicle and had them call the police. Carti and the 2 men on the scene left in a black SUV. People asked the victim multiple times for the suspect info. He was not known to be Carti at the time. The victim stated she didn't want to get the name of the suspect because it might hit the media and damage his career. Keep in mind though, this all alleged, but Iggy, his first baby mama, responded to the news. Been there, done that. Warned you. Imagine having a pregnant girlfriend pretending they don't exist until it comes out, because you like to abuse them too. And rarely visiting your actual son unless it's because you running from whatever problems you got going on in Atlanta and the press with your serial women. And this where Carti attorney came out saying Carti was falsely accused. And I'm gonna repeat it again. This is all alleged, but the damage was done. People was looking at Carti crazy once again, because this wasn't the first time a woman came out accusing him of something like this. So a few years back, Carti and Ruby Rose dated. And she said while they was dating, they got into an argument and Carti pulled the scrap out and let some shots go. She claimed he wasn't aiming in her direction, but he still shot that way. Fast forward a few months after Carti's arrest became public, he got back to teasing some new music. So one day, out the blue, Carti took the IG and posted a picture of a young boy with a cross chain on. And this made the internet go crazy. Carti was top 10 trending on Twitter, all because he posted a picture of a young boy to his story. But at the height of all this hype, people around Carti came out tweeting. 004KT. Filthy was tweeting about it. Carti artist Ken Carson was tweeting about it. The jeweler who even made the chain was tweeting about it. Like with everything Carti say, nothing ever came of it. All this hype was built up and nothing happened. Or at least that's what it looked like at first. I think this stunt was to get some attention for the tour that he was finna announce. Because not too much longer, rumors started coming out. All around the world, these billboards started coming up showing Carti and all the artists on his label supposedly going on a tour, named the Antagonist Tour. And I remember first seeing this. At first, people was thinking it was fake until a producer who worked with Carti 24/7 reposted the picture, confirming the tour. So the world started going crazy. Carti was back trending and people was excited until they realized something. The biggest problem with this entire tour, the thing that could really hurt Carti's career, Carti still ain't dropped no music. It's 2023 now, almost 2024. Whole Lotta Red came out in 2020. He did his tour for that album back in 2021. Then on top of that, he been going to festivals all around the world performing the same exact songs for years. Yeah, the performances is great, but do he think people trying to drop bags on tickets to go see him perform the same song? But the tour get announced. People start speculating, is he dropping more music? And that's really all people wondering. And eventually, internet start to realize something. The ticket sales was low. Yeah, for a Carti show, people are mainly gonna want to be on the floor, but this man was booking arenas, NBA court-sized crowds. So for everyone to want to be on the floor means the arena was gonna look empty, and an empty arena ain't a good look. I know you remember what happened to some artists, but look, I get people love Carti, but he wasn't finna be able to go on a whole arena tour without dropping no new music. But the biggest problem with everything is the prices. Like I said at the start of the video, ticket sales was up to $500. Keep in mind, tour I went on, prices wasn't nothing like that. I'm pretty sure the ticket I got was $60. And just to put this into perspective, Rolling Loud is a festival with many different artists, a place where you'll get so many different experiences. It's also $500. So why would you pay $500 just to see Carti when you can pay $500 to Rolling Loud to see Carti and hundreds of different artists? Because one thing Carti not gonna do is miss out on Rolling Loud. So for bro to be charging that on top of no new music, he knew problems was on the way. And just a few days before this tour was supposed to start, he delayed it so bad some shows even got pushed back to 2024. But at the height of all these problems, the infamous Carti and Leaker war sparked back up. They was tired of waiting for new music. The fans was tired of him lying. They was tired of him playing all these games. So the Leakers got a hold of this new Carti song, a song he had been teasing and talking about since the start of 2022. So remember back in that interview when he was talking about Iggy, the same interview, he talked about this song. And so the Lakers get a hold of it and they did something called a group bot. This what many leakers do when they get songs. They'll go into Discord servers, Reddit, and set a price for a song, and all these different people start putting money into the song. So leakers charged $15,000 for this Carti song. And when they did, Carti peoples caught wind and they started pressing the leakers. The leakers ain't care though. They wanted their money and they got it. Dropped that song anyway. But right around the time this song came out, Carti website got updated. The album he had been teasing since 2022 was called Music. And when his website updated, you can guess what it said. Music. So for the third time this year, he had people hyped once again. But soon after this website updated, he changed it back. And we ain't heard nothing since. Was this Carti just playing with people? Or was it time for him to actually drop? Who knows? But something that will happen is people will eventually get tired of all this lying. And I say this because I had the fans been acting. They've been desperate. They be on Twitter making concept Carti tweets or making concept single drops. Somebody will really get on Twitter and type up a tweet like they Carti. So right now, it's really looking like this Antagonist tour is a make or break moment for Carti. Because people getting tired of no new music, but at the same time, he not falling off or anything, because every time he do a feature or even speak, he go up more and more. But at the end of the day, constantly lying to your fans and playing into people that support you face, they'll eventually get tired of it. Putting him in a situation where all this lying and all these bad situations he been in will slowly destroy his career. All the times these women that came out and accused him of something, that's gonna hurt somebody's career, that's gonna hurt his brand, his image. But at the same time, Carti do have every right to not like his fans, simply because they been leaking all of his music for years. Think about it from Carti eyes. You making all this music and your fans hack you so they can get it. So both sides is playing in each other's face, but one got something to lose. Carti got something to lose, while the fans don't lose nothing. But on the topic of playing in people's face, the artist from our last video was known for playing in other rappers' face. I'm talking about he was dissing every rapper in the game from Drake to Rick Ross just for some clicks. This man built his whole career on being toxic, and that vid is on screen right now.